This is the Leoguar Fastron fat tire electric mountain bike. It's powerful, it looks rad, and according to the company, it should be able to handle some tough terrain. Today we'll take a close look at the features, the specs, and take it for a ride and see how it does. So this is the Leoguar Fastron SO, or Step Over Fat Tire Electric Bike. And yes, the company name is a bit weird. It's actually a portmanteau. They combine the words leopard and jaguar to create Leoguar. No weirder than a liger, I guess. So what do you think of the design here? I think this bike actually looks awesome. It's got a very aggressive look, and this sort of army green color looks fantastic. The color even continues onto the wheels, which I love. But if you don't like this color, there are a few others to choose from. Hey Georgia, how's it going? Do you like this bike? It's a Leoguar. Do you like Leoguars? I don't even know what a Leoguar is. Now, if you followed my channel for a while, you're likely aware that I primarily focus on cars. But I've become a huge fan of e-bikes because they can be a fun and useful alternative to a car in many situations. And for a bike like this, it could very well be a great addition to a car. Throw it on a bike rack, drive to a campground, or some dirt trails and have some fun. Okay, let's do a walk around of this fat tire e-bike and check out all the features and specs. All right, so what we have here is a mountain bike style fat tire e-bike with a step over frame. They also offer a step through version. In terms of sizing, the company says it should fit riders from 5'3" to 6'5". I'm 6'3" and I fit very comfortably on this bike. So this is a 48-volt bike. Out back, we have a 750-watt hub motor producing 85 Newton-meters of torque. Nicely integrated into the frame is the 15 amp-hour battery, which seems like a decent size for this bike, and it's secured with a key. A full charge should take about 4 to 5 hours. Leoguar says the range of this bike is up to 60 miles, but like most e-bikes, total range can depend on a whole host of factors, so we'll test it out. This is rated as a Class 2 bike with a 20 mile per hour top speed, though it can be unlocked to Class 3 speeds. We'll check that out as well. This bike weighs in at 70 pounds, which sounds a bit heavy, but it's actually lighter than some similar bikes I've tested recently. Payload capacity is 300 pounds. As you can see, there's no real space for cargo on this bike, but Leoguar does sell a rear basket. We've got an 8-speed gear set, which is similar to what you'd find on many other e-bikes at this price point. There are 6 pedal assist modes, and this bike utilizes a cadence sensor for the pedal assist. We'll test that out when we ride it. There's a twist throttle here on the right side. The brakes are hydraulic Tektro brand with 180mm rotors, both front and rear. We've got suspension up front that is adjustable, but there's no suspension out back. The handlebars have a very nice straight across design, nice looking grips. The display is nice and compact and easy to read, which I appreciate. It's got a very cool looking texture on the seat. It's got a quick release seat post, and we'll test out the comfort when we ride this. In terms of tires, we've got V brand rubber at 26x4. They're not the most aggressive tires that I've seen, but they are geared towards trails. And those tires are running on spoke wheels. And you'll notice there are no fenders here. There is a headlight, no taillight though. We do have a bell, but no horn. In terms of assembly, the bike is shipped in a large, somewhat heavy box. They do have a cool setup with clips on the bottom of the box, allowing you to just lift the top of the box off rather than struggling to lift the bike out of the box. Unfortunately, FedEx badly damaged the box, so I wasn't able to try out that cool feature. So this is probably the easiest bike to put together out of all the bikes I've reviewed so far. Almost completely assembled in the box. All I had to do was install the front wheel and handlebars. That's pretty much it. Took about 10 minutes. A lot of other companies make you do a whole lot more assembly to get started. And this comes with a 2-year warranty. Now, if you want to buy this bike, please use my purchase link in the description below, but don't do that just yet. Let's first take this thing for a ride and see how it does. All right, so this is a 48-volt bike. Like I said, we've got that 750-watt hub motor out back, and that produces 85 Newton-meters of torque, which is pretty decent. So let's do a quick acceleration test. 3, 2, 1, go. Lifted the front tire a little bit. That is a decent amount of torque. So this is just throttle only. 20 miles per hour, that was pretty quick. Yeah, we're going 21, about 22 miles per hour. Honestly, that's a pretty quick e-bike off the line. One great thing about an e-bike that accelerates this quickly is it can allow you to get ahead of cars when you're at an intersection. Yeah, you can get going really fast. So honestly, like 20, 22 miles per hour, whatever I got to there, is plenty fast for a bike like this. Now, if you want to go even faster, you can email Leoguar and they'll give you instructions on how to unlock higher speeds. They do make you sign a waiver, and then they'll send you a password that you can enter in the menu here. So when it's unlocked, I can go about 28, 29 miles per hour, though it appears as though those higher speeds are only available when pedaling. not just throttle alone. Now, when you're riding pretty quickly on an e-bike, you want to be able to stop pretty quickly, so let's give that a try. In 3, 2, 1, stop. That's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. Hydraulic brakes, 180mm rotors, seems to work out just fine for a bike of this size. So we've got an 8-speed micro-shift branded gear set here on the right-hand side, and the shifts are really smooth. This is pretty similar to what you'd find on other e-bikes at this price point. A lot of times you'll find Shimano branded, but this micro-shift seems to do just fine. All right, so we have 6 different pedal assist modes here. Level 1 almost does nothing. Level 2 gives you a little bit of boost. Level 3, even more boost. Pretty self-explanatory. All the way up to level 5. And this bike utilizes a cadence sensor, so that means the bike will only detect when you're pedaling, not how hard you're pedaling. So that can at sometimes make it sort of feel like it's an on-off switch. But like all bikes with cadence sensors, it's something that you do end up getting used to pretty quickly. All right, we're heading into this big empty parking lot so we can talk about handling and stability. So at 70 pounds, this is not a lightweight e-bike, but it is a bit lighter than some other fat tire e-bikes that I've ridden. So one of the benefits of that weight is it does give it more of a planted feel. That, along with the fat tires, does make the bike feel very stable. The one thing that you do need to keep in mind with those big fat tires is that it does give the steering a bit of a heavy feel. The front of the bike does feel a bit heavy. But again, that's not uncommon on a bike like this. A lot of fat tire e-bikes feel like that. If you're coming from a regular non-electric bike with skinnier tires, that's probably gonna feel a lot different. But with the amount of power that we have on this bike, it doesn't really feel all that heavy, unless the battery runs out. All right, so this is a pretty bumpy parking lot. Let's talk about comfort. So we've got suspension up front that is adjustable, but we have no suspension out back. So keep that in mind when you're traversing some more difficult terrain. But one big benefit of really fat tires is that they do soak up a lot of the bumps, especially if you keep the pressures a little bit on the lower side. Of course, that's going to eat into your efficiency. Fat tire bikes generally aren't all that efficient compared to non-fat tire bikes. One thing that I do really like here is this handlebar design, nice straight across design. These grips are very grippy. Placement of the throttle is very good. Generally, I tend to prefer thumb throttle over twist throttle, but this one is fine. The seat comfort is pretty decent. I don't have any complaints there. And the riding position is a bit more like you're riding a mountain bike. It's not a completely hunched over position, but it's not completely straight up either. It's pretty comfortable. All right, I found some dirt. Let's see how this does. Here we go. Oh, wow, yeah. 20 miles per hour is plenty fast on terrain like this. All right, so that front suspension is doing a really good job soaking up the bumps in the front. But like I said, no suspension out back. So just lift up your butt a little bit. But yeah, I'm actually kind of surprised. These tires are doing a really good job not sliding around. These are decently suited to the dirt. But you do need to keep in mind that there are no fenders here. So if you find yourself in some muddy situations, you're probably gonna get a little bit dirty. So yeah, this is not a dirt bike, but if you did need to traverse some dirt trails from time to time, this is gonna suit you pretty well, I'd say. Yeah, and it's got a lot of torque to get through some of those hills too. That's pretty good. All right, let's get back on the pavement. No rear suspension means my back's starting to get tired, so let's stay on some smoother surfaces. All right, so let's talk about range. Now, obviously range depends on a whole host of factors, how much you're using the throttle, what pedal assist level you're using, how much pedaling you're doing, and what the terrain is like. Now, Leoguar says that this bike can do 60 miles, and I've ridden about 15 so far, and I still got about 60% left on my battery. So you might be able to go 60 miles if you're pedaling quite a bit. All right, so how much does this cool looking green bike cost you? The Leoguar Fastron comes in at $1649. Well, that's definitely not an inexpensive bike, but ultimately I really enjoyed riding this bike today. It was fun to get out on some trails and have the comfort of those fat tires and adjustable suspension with the added bonus of a powerful motor, so I didn't have to get that tired. And bonus, I really love how this bike looks. This green color is just fire, and it does have a nice aggressive stance. I dig it. There is a lot of competition for this type of bike right now, and I think it all comes down to the type of components used, the aesthetics, and how much you're willing to spend. Leoguar did a great job designing this bike. I guess time will tell if the price is right. So what do you think of the Leoguar Fastron? Let me know in the comments below. And if you want to purchase this bike, please use my link in the description below. If you like this video and you want to see more like it, please consider subscribing and hitting that bell icon. If you want to help support the channel, please buy a t-shirt or hat at helloroad.tv/shop. Thanks so much, I hope you're well, and I'll see you soon.